Hello, everyone. My name is Tanya, and welcome back to North of the Fray, your go-to channel for understanding narcissistic abuse through a biblical lens. If you're returning to this channel, thank you for pressing play once again. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with the latest content. Today, I want to discuss the story of Haman in the book of Esther and its insights into the fate of those who exhibit narcissistic traits. Over the next several days, I'll discuss several other stories in really short videos to include Ahab, Jezebel, Cain, and Judas. Those are the ones that we're most familiar with. However, there are other stories I plan to share with you as well. This series of videos will be titled Proof that God Will Repay Narcissists. I truly believe each story will be very insightful for everyone struggling with the age-old question, will narcissists pay for what they've done? Well, you will see that not only will they pay, but God, the Most High God, has a way of collecting in a way that we never could. Now to the story of Haman. In the gripping narrative of Haman in the book of Esther, we see a powerful illustration of how narcissistic and malicious traits can precipitate a downfall. Haman, who rises to the position of prime minister under King Ahasuerus, becomes consumed by his own ego. Elevated to this high rank, he is granted privileges befitting his status, one of which includes a decree from the king that all the king's servants at the royal gate are to bow and pay homage to Haman. This decree essentially feeds into Haman's grandiose sense of self-importance, reinforcing his belief in his own superiority. However, Mordecai, who is a Jew and the cousin to Queen Esther, refuses to bow to Haman. In Jewish tradition, such an act of bowing to a person was often reserved for reverence and was considered inappropriate when directed toward a mere human, especially one perceived as morally corrupt as Haman. Mordecai's refusal to bow is not just an act of personal defiance, but also a stand rooted in his faith and principles. This defiance deeply wounds Haman's pride and triggers his wrath. It's not just an act of not bowing that infuriates Haman, but the challenge it poses to his inflated self-image. This moment reveals a classic trait of narcissism, an inability to tolerate any form of criticism or challenge to one's perceived authority or status. Rather than seeing Mordecai's refusal as a personal choice or religious stance, Haman interprets it as a direct affront to his ego. Driven by his wounded pride, Haman concocts a sinister plot that extends far beyond personal revenge against Mordecai. He schemes to annihilate all the Jewish people in the kingdom, demonstrating the dangerous extent to which his pride and desire for control have skewed his judgment. Haman's actions reflect a profound lack of empathy and disregard for human life, traits often associated with severe malignant narcissistic behavior. But Haman's plot eventually becomes the instrument of his own undoing. Queen Esther, who, as we know, is also Jewish, she courageously steps forward and reveals Haman's heinous plan to kill her and her people to the king. In an extraordinary turn of events, marked by what many would see as divine intervention, and it was, the king orders that Haman be executed on the very gallows he had erected for Mordecai. This outcome powerfully illustrates the biblical principle articulated in Proverbs chapter 26, verse 27. Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them. This proverb highlights the concept of poetic justice, where the harm intended for others backfires on the perpetrator. This narrative reflects the broader biblical theme that those who engage in evil, deceitful, or narcissistic behavior will ultimately face consequences. Scriptures like Romans chapter 12, verse 19, which says, "Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, 'It is mine to avenge. I will repay,' says the Lord." This affirms the belief that God's divine justice always prevails in the end. Again, God can collect in a way that we never could. So in the context of dealing with narcissists or those who cause harm and suffering to others, these scriptures and stories serve as a reminder that while injustice may prevail for a time, there is a higher power that oversees and ultimately sets things right. This perspective can offer comfort and hope, especially to those who have been wronged or hurt by narcissists over and over again. This encourages you to focus on your own healing and leave the matter of justice in the hands of the Most High God. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope this discussion brings you some clarity and peace in dealing with the narcissist in your life. Remember, you're not alone in your journey because God is always with you. He says He will never leave you nor forsake you, and He's always fighting for you. So keep your head held high, your heart guarded, and your faith strong. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and God bless you.